Karin, our next guest, who is patiently waiting there just to join us once more. I'm so thrilled. It's always a pleasure. Do you want to introduce our next guest, please, Karin?
We are so lucky. Veganuary ambassador, TV star, just probably, I mean, she knows I adore her because I've told her. She'd be like, oh, for God's sake, shut up, Karin. But we are so lucky to have Jasmine Harman joining us. Hopefully she'll be on our screen. TV superstar and passionate vegan. I know, shut up. Can't help it. You were brushing your hair. I'm going to brush my hair.
Oh, yeah. I was just
beautiful. You look
handing the kids over. I've just hide upstairs so I can chat to you guys in peace.
Oh, are they okay? Is everybody doing well?
Yeah, I mean, the kids are great. They're having fun homeschooling. Me, on the other hand, I don't think I'm cut out to be a teacher. It's very unusual for me to be in one place for such a long time, and
it's not happened, has it? That's never happened.
20 years. I've not been at home for this long, for about 20 years. So it's it's weird, but we're just muddling through. It's all good. But lots of different things going on, and I can't believe it's coming to the end of January already. It's the end of January, the end of the first month for me of homeschooling, and the end of Veganuary as well. But of course, Veganuary, you can do Veganuary in March, in May, in August, whenever you want.
Yeah. Well, you are an ambassador for Veganuary, and I know because that's when you and I connected initially, because that was your step to go vegan.
Well, I did the first ever Veganuary. I heard Tony mentioning it earlier, and I had just become a mother, and it was all about just being able to try it. I was already vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian, since I was 6 years old, but had never really sort of put two and two together. Because for me, being a vegetarian was because I didn't want to do any harm to any animals, because I consider them to be my friends, and so finally sort of finding this vehicle through which I could say to my husband, I'm going to just try it for a month, and he accepted that. And I think that is so important, just to be able to try it out, to for yourself, but also for your family and your loved ones, to be able to say, all right, we'll put up with it for a month. And then my conviction grew throughout the month, and I realized it was easy enough. And and now it's even easier. It's so easy to be vegan in restaurants, at home, when you go to the supermarket, or you buying food online. And even when we're allowed to travel again, when you're in other countries, there are vegan restaurants popping up everywhere. There are vegan dishes popping up on menus. I can go into any random restaurant in Spain or France or wherever and say I'm vegan, and they understand what that means now. Which
I don't think they did they, before this sort of Veganuary journey, like 8 years ago?
Oh, no way.
So you're seeing a big change even overseas.
Massive.
In the past 8 years.
Massive. I mean, as I was vegetarian before, I'd say to, in a restaurant, I'd say to a waiter, I'm vegetarian. So is this dish suitable? Does it contain any meat? No. And then it would come and it would be, soup with bits of chorizo floating around in it, or it would be asparagus wrapped in bacon. And you'd say, I'm vegetarian. And they would go, but it's not meat. It's just chorizo. It's bacon. Or it's lardons, on a salad or whatever. And so it was really frustrating. But now it's definitely, I think just in general, people are more aware of ingredients in food, because they have to be, because of allergens and because of that sort of thing. So now, it's loads easier. It's loads better. There's way more awareness, and there are way more products and options in restaurants for people to eat who are following a vegan lifestyle.
So interesting, Jasmine, you mentioned there the allergen thing. I've just realised actually that when the allergen laws changed, And it meant that restaurants had to have all their ingredients, and you could go in and you would get their thing out. They go, oh, your korma with your, oh yeah, oh no, you don't want that one. It's got some fish paste in it.
Yeah, or whatever, exactly.
That kind of thing. And of course, that also happened in 2014. So Veganuary, and of course, in 2013, you had the horse meat scandal. So there was these crucial big moves that really happened, and Veganuary is part of that history now. And when we look at the sort of normalizing of the anti-speciesist position, although Veganuary doesn't go the whole way to that position, it's this huge foot in the door, and it's this vehicle that people can attach themselves to get this through the door. And where you mentioned about, your husband, it's just like, oh no, you'll have this, it's acceptable. This is the big thing. And I think people have to remember this, that there is so much resistance in some places. And we would love people to get it all at once. And there's no reason why people can't get it all at once. There's no reason why we shouldn't present it all at once, but we should also expect people to not get it all at once. Exactly. And that's fine. And to work with people and to encourage people. And that's why I think Veganuary has been such a huge thing. And of course, abroad. And I mean, you spend a lot of time in Portugal, which I'm saying this, I'd love to be able to just jump on and go to Portugal. I think you get imprisoned in a hotel if you come back from Portugal. It's just like, that's right. You can't even, you self-isolate. It's like, no, you're locked up for 2 weeks. So it's
tricky, isn't it? And I think, for me, my biggest reservation initially of going vegan was cheese. And, there are still, let's be honest, there are still some absolutely dreadful vegan cheeses out there. And I think, for someone who is thinking, oh, I'm going to try this, and they've bought like something in a supermarket and they taste it and they're like, that's disgusting, I can't do that, and they're put off forever. Whereas I loved cheese, cow or whatever, goat's cheese. I used to really enjoy it as a vegetarian, but I just couldn't eat it anymore. It just was not aligned with my beliefs and my, I had to have integrity to myself, really. And I persevered and found some amazing vegan cheeses, and even, going even further than that, I found an amazing local company, and I've invested in a vegan food company, and we've been launching new products. And one of the things we've just recently launched is a vegan sauce for cheese lovers. And it's so cheesy, and it's literally, you just put on your pasta if you wanted macaroni cheese, or on your cauliflower for cauliflower cheese, and it's just it tastes so fantastic. And so what I'm just trying to say is, you've got to research all the different options until you find one you love.
Yeah.
Well, I love cheese, but I tend to be cheesy house music. I like house music.
I like cheesy music too.
Extra layers of particularly cheesy house music. I must admit, I'm particularly fond of that. I'd love somebody to come out with a quattro formaggio vegan version of a pizza or something to celebrate good house cheese. Because. But it's brilliant listening to you talking, Jasmine, about it. You know what? We've got John Robb waiting patiently to come on. So we're going to bring John Robb on fairly soon. But before we do that, before we talk to John, Jasmine, what would you really say to people like who are struggling a bit? What's your key message for people who are having a bit of a down day with all of this, whether it be trying to get on a plant-based diet, trying to home teach? We all have down days.
I think we all have down days, and I think if you are, struggling on a path towards being vegan and plant-based, then what I would say is, first of all, remember the reasons why you were motivated to try it in the first place, and that will be different for everybody. But also, I would say, it doesn't have to be difficult. And I know you were sort of touched on that with Chef Day, and she's saying, all her recipes are really easy. And I'm sort of coming at it almost from the opposite angle. I am going to try her course, by the way, because the food does look amazing. But for me, sometimes I'm so busy, I literally don't have time to sit and cook. And I might be, when I'm at work, I'm traveling, when I'm at home, I've got the children, I'm homeschooling, I'm trying to do work online. And so give yourself a break and make it easy on yourself. Like we at the Brook, we're launching some new products next week. So for anybody who thinks, oh, you can't get this or you can't get that, we're launching these fish cakes. Thea's just brought me the packaging.
Lovely. Let's have a look.
It's frozen, right? Yeah. So Chef Day will be very disapproving, I'm sure. But, if you can have a lovely meal that tastes just like fish cakes, which have fish in them, or you can have a curry, or you can have macaroni cheese, or you can have a bolognese, or whatever it is you fancy. Don't beat yourself up because you're not baking and making everything homemade from scratch. Just make your life easy, because we've all got a lot on our plates at the moment, and the mental strain, I think, of being in lockdown for such a long time, it takes its toll on everybody. And so I think, it's really easy to just go into a downward spiral and go down on yourself when you're actually trying to do something really positive by going vegan and by trying Veganuary. So if you're thinking about whether to continue with it, I would say, start by doing small steps, make it easy for yourself, and just keep going, remembering the reasons why you were motivated to try it in the first place.
I love that, Jasmine. And I was going to say as well, I know John's waiting, but I think, wasn't it a year ago that we had your fantastic party that I was luckily enough to be invited to at the Brook?
I know. It was a year ago we had the quiz show where we got your team beat our team due to a fixed question about the Veganuary participants, and I haven't forgotten that. I'm still, but don't let me interrupt. Karen,
no, that's right. And then obviously the restaurant had to close because lockdown happened. Yeah. But we're still concentrating on the online stuff, and we're still developing loads of new products, juices, sauces, like frozen meals and everything else. So it's really exciting. I mean, I get to try them all, which is a bonus. But
it's wonderful.
You can come back and tell us all about,
that's what the vegan community is so supportive to each other. So it's nice. There's room for everybody, because there's so much more demand now. It's wonderful.
Because you do the whole Brook range, isn't it, Jasmine? I know you've been doing this for a little bit. We should put some time aside for another time where you can come back and actually talk exclusively all about.
Yeah, so, my shameless plug there, but next week. So I have to give it a shout out.
With that stuff that you're doing there, which because it's a really important part, I think, of Veganuary has enabled. I think this is something we should credit actually Veganuary with, is that the big brands have got on board, of the multiples, the supermarkets, the big chains. And although for a lot of us, we don't really want to maybe participate in that all the time, for a lot of us, that's our life. And although it's great to see the independents like the Brook doing, vegan options, it's also great to see the multiples doing it. I'm not going to big up any of the multiples, but it's just, I think, an indication of the shift. But we're all about independence. We're supporting independence. We'd love you to come back and talk to us about some of those products. And perhaps, Karen, we might get a tasting session going on or something.
Yeah, Karen's already had a good taste.
I know, and I tell you what, the food is utterly fantastic. I keep saying I've got to reorder. I was blown away with the quality, the taste. I had such a fantastic night that night as well. And I do know, because Pete, the producer, is saying we are getting comments asking about the Brook. So could you tell us where we can find out how to... People are asking about the cheese sauce.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, at the moment, it's still online because the restaurant is closed. But the website is the-brook.co.uk. And you can also find some of the co-op stores have them in. They have branded freezers in there. So, but online is probably the most reliable. Then you can pick out what you want and just make it.
There we go. As if by magic, there's the website.
There you go.
.co.uk.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Well, we've got to go because we've got John on, and then we've got Danielle Mopetui who's going to come on and do this fabulous vegan dessert live demo. And that's literally in about less than 25 minutes now. So that's actually going to be worth sticking around for if you've got a bit of it. Yeah, like Dan, I mean,
she's amazing.
Pastry chef is a really incredible product. Just so. But before that, we're going to have John Robb on. Jasmine Harman, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jasmine,
for having me.
Thank you so much for giving up the time to join us. We love you coming on our show. Karen, thanks for organising too. I know
she's gone.
No, I mean, we can sit all day and talk. This is the trouble with all our guests. We don't want to. It's my job to cut everybody off. I always get the short straw. I have to sort of keep them on, otherwise we never sit for hours. It's great. It's great.
I love Jasmine. She's passionate. She is so authentic. We're very lucky to have her support.
Very lucky. And we want to, Jasmine, hopefully come back. We will talk all about the Brook products because there's some brilliant products in the restaurants doing the same. And we've got one in March, so we're going to be doing again in March. Tune in 20th, 21st. We'll be looking almost totally at health on a Saturday and fitness on a Sunday, so lots of food.